Good morning, afternoon, or evening. My name is Shannon, and today we are going to be picking out my June TBR with my TBR prompt jar that I've been using for the past couple months. Now, the TBR I picked for this current month, May, I kind of bombed. I'm not gonna lie. I just was kind of in a reading slump kind of thing. And then I just kind of read whatever I want. So I don't think I've read a single book on my TBR for May, but hopefully I will be better this upcoming month. I'm going to be picking 10 prompts as usual, so let's just get started. A book with a flower on the cover. Okay, that works perfectly. Also, I just want to apologize. If you watched my most recent video, my book haul, there might be a lot of similar books in this video, so I just want to say that in advance. Anywho, for a book with the flower on the cover, I'm going to be picking It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. I am not a Colleen Hoover fan, I'm not even gonna lie. I have previously read one of her books. I did not like it at all, and I haven't read another book since. But I do really want to watch the movie when it comes out. So I will be reading It Ends With Us. I'm very nervous to read this, especially with the domestic violence that is in it. But, like I said, I have to read it before the movie comes out. This book is about Lily and Ryle, and they have just fallen in love. But Ryle is starting to show some really bad character traits and doing some really bad things. And now she's just kind of stuck in it, but she ends up running into her first love, Atlas, and I think he is the one that helps her out of this relationship. But I don't know. I'm very nervous to get to this, if you couldn't tell. A sports romance. Perfect. I was hoping I would get a sports romance one. I'm going to be picking up The Dixon Rule by Elle Kennedy. I have recently been on an Elle Kennedy binge, and I'm very excited to get to this book. This is the second book in, I don't know what the series is called, but it's in the same universe as the Off-Campus and Briar U series. This book is about Shane and Diana, and Diana's so annoyed with Shane. He's basically been hooking up with everyone on her cheerleading team, and she just kind of wants him to stay away from them. But they end up becoming neighbors, and Shane, his ex, has just recently come back to town, and he decides to tell his ex he's dating Diana. And it seems like it'll be really good, and I'm very excited to keep being in that universe. A book with a pretty cover. Okay, that is definitely easy enough. I'm going to have to go with Crazy Stupid Romance by Lyssa Kay Adams. I have enjoyed every book in this series so far, and I honestly think all of the covers are so adorable. This book is about Alexis and Noah, and they have been friends for a very long time, but he has been in love with her forever, and he turns to the Bromance Book Club to help get him out of the friend zone and progress his relationship with this girl he's in love with. And he's also just like a shy computer hacker, and I know I'm going to eat that up because I always like when guys are shy in romance books, but I'm very excited to read this. An author I haven't read yet. Definitely going to be picking Wicked, The Life and Times of the Wicked Witch of the West by Gregory Maguire. I spoke about this, like I said earlier, in my previous video. I'm so excited to read this. For those of you who don't know, this book is what founded the Broadway show Wicked. And it's basically like the origin story of the Wicked Witch of the West, Elphaba. And I have just been talking about this book for so long with my older sister, and she finally convinced me to get it and read it, especially before the movie comes out this fall. And I'm just wickedly, that was so cringy, excited to read this book and be able to converse about it with her. A book you think you'll rate 5 stars. Okay. I think I will be rating Persuasion by Jane Austen 5 stars. I previously read Pride and Prejudice. I rated that 6 stars. It is one of the best books I have ever read, and I want to get more into classic literature, and I looked up which other book of Jane Austen's I should read because I do own most of them, but I wanted to know which one to go into next. And it said that this was Jane Austen's most romantic book, which, given how much I love Pride and Prejudice, I think I'm going to absolutely adore this. And this is about Anne and Wentworth, and they knew each other a long time ago. They were kind of madly in love, and then her family kind of convinced her not to marry him because he was of a much lower social standing. Now, years later, he comes back into her life. He is a respected captain, and I'm just very excited to see it. The second chance romance. This is probably, if I had to take a guess, the first second chance romance trope book out there. But obviously, I don't know that for certain. But I'm very excited to read it. Next, we have, I dropped it, a red book. Okay, I don't own a lot of red books, I'm noticing. Okay, I have 4 romance books basically, considering the classic. Feel like I should pick a fantasy book. Oh, okay. Okay, so technically the spine is what's red, but the hardcover is red? Anywho, I decided to pick up The Bone Shard Daughter by Andrea Stewart. This book I've had on my shelves for so long, and when that happens I kind of forget what the book is about. But this book is about Lynn, who is the daughter of the evil emperor, and he has kept her locked up, and her memories have been erased by this illness, and she has to master bone shard magic in order to take back control over the dynasty. And I just think it sounds very, very good, and I'm also very intrigued to see what bone shard magic entails. It sounds like a very interesting magic system, but I'm very excited to get to this. Next, a book with a female main character. That certainly gives me a very, very broad option, because I would say 95% of my books have a main female character. Could try reading the Throne of Glass series, but I don't think now is the proper time for that. I think I'm going to pick another fantasy book just so it's kind of evened out. I don't know if this would qualify. I think so, because I don't think we ever get the male perspective. One second. For a book with a main female character, I'm going to be picking The Wicked King by Holly Black. This is the second book in the Cruel Prince trilogy. I previously read The Cruel Prince back in November, and I got like very, very invested, and I felt that if I continued the series, I would be in one of my obsessive like phases, and I knew that when I finished it I would be in a massive book hangover, so I decided to space out reading the books. But I've been itching to get back into this series, basically. This series is about Jude and Cardan, and when Jude was a child, she was taken from the human realm and brought into the Fae realm, where she has been growing up her whole life. It is very interesting. She is one of my favorite female characters of all time because she is very morally gray and isn't afraid to show rage and not show mercy, and I just love her as a character, and I'm so excited to get into this book, especially given how the last book ended. The next prompt is an author you've never read. Technically, we already had this prompt, but I'm going to make an exception for it because there are lots of authors I haven't read on my shelves. Okay, for this one, I'm going to be choosing The Wolf Den by Elodie Harper. This book is a historical fiction based in Athens? Oh no, based in Pompeii, where Amara has recently been thrust into this horrid world of Pompeii's most notorious brothel, and it's kind of like, it's kind of about sisterhood and like the banding together of women through struggle and all that stuff, but the whole Pompeii aspect is what really has me intrigued, and I've been wanting to get to this for a while, so now seems like the perfect time. A black book. I feel like a fantasy book is usually what I have black covers of the most. For this prompt, I'm going to be choosing I Know Who You Are by Alice Feeney. I have not yet read any Alice Feeney books, which is surprising because I own most of her backlist because of Sarah Crowley's recommendations. And I would like to get to one, especially since I've been getting into thrillers and mysteries more. This book is about Amy, and she is an actress, and everyone can't really remember how they know her, but turns out she has a very big secret, and her husband ends up going missing, and the police think she's hiding something, and she is, but it's not what you think. At least that's what the back of the cover entails to me, and it sounds really interesting, and I would like to give Alice Feeney a shot. Okay, we have our last prompt of the day. A childhood favorite. I already know where I'm going with this. I have the reading blog up on my channel. I've read these before. I am going to have to pick Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. I may even end up reading multiple books in the series because of this, but this is, if I had to choose something from pop culture from my childhood to describe my pop culture experience when I was a child, it would be the Harry Potter series. When I was going to bed at night, my mom didn't read me Dr. Seuss books. She read me Harry Potter. I have been raised on these books, raised on these movies. Like, they were ingrained in my childhood, and I legitimately love this series so much. Those are all of the books that are going to be on my TBR this month. I spoke previously in this video about a book from last month's TBR that is still going to be on my TBR for this upcoming month. It is Powerless by Lauren Roberts. I have been wanting to get to that for so long, and I'm very excited to get to it, and I'm sure I will get to it in June. But that is the end of today's video. I sincerely hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. All of my social media is linked down below for you guys. I hope you all are having an absolutely wonderful morning, afternoon, or evening wherever you are in the world, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.